So everyone knows I love to compost. I got my in-ground compost bin. I got my roller compost bin. Any chance I get, I throw food in the ground and make it do what it do. For some people, composting can be stinky, nasty, unsightly, especially if you live like in a small home or an apartment. You don't really have the backyard space. So this company called Carfo, they've kind of designed a solution around those who want to compost, reduce their waste, but just don't really have the space nor the patience to deal with the smell and the scent and the sight. So allow me to introduce the Carfo EcoSmart Composter. We're going to go ahead and unbox it, review it, and kind of see if it's worth it or not, right? And give it a rating out of 1 out of 10. And then, as I always like to do, I like to tell you not just is the product good or not, but who the product is good for. Because not every product is right for every person. Sometimes a product just isn't bad. It just isn't right for the intended user. So here we got the Carfo EcoSmart Composter, and it's a pretty simple setup. You got the machine itself. You have the actual basket, which has I guess you could say blades at the bottom, as well as it heats it up and turns the blades, and that's essentially how it breaks down the food. There's an arrow marked on the basket to kind of show you the correct way to line it up. Then at the top of the machine, you have an actual charcoal filter assembly. There's also a lock in there so you can line it up, make sure you got locked in the right way. Don't be like me and get it locked in the incorrect way. And then after you do that, it's pretty straightforward. You got 2 modes, right? You got a quick mode, just like 2.5 hours, and then you have a long mode, which is 5 hours. I found the 2.5 hour mode, depending on what kind of food you put in there, if it's any kind of moisture, wet, or anything like that, all it does is just makes it into a big, nasty goulash of goo. So I always use the 5 hour composter and hit the 5 hours, and it actually does pretty good. It breaks it down really fine. It's really granular. It almost has the consistency of like cocoa core or seed starting mix, but not as light and fluffy. Really broken down really well as far as, wanting to use it for compost. And then I just pretty much sprinkle it in my garden and just toss it in there, or you can put it in a compost pile, or, however you want to do it. But that's essentially kind of an overview of the Eco Composter. Very simple, very smart, looks very sleek as well. So at the end of the day, if I had to rate this product, I would probably rate it a 6 out of 10, and I'm gonna tell you why. You got to really understand who this product is really good for. If you're a single family, maybe family of 2, you don't produce as much waste, it would probably be good for you. For a family of 5 that generates a lot, I don't think it's the right product for you. You're not going to generate pounds and pounds of compost for your garden. You might generate maybe a handful, maybe a bucket full every now and then. What I like to do is leave it on my countertop at the end of dinner, dump all our food scraps in there, turn it on at night, and next morning I got compost or organic material per se. Again, if you want to use it as a seed starting mix, I think it's great because it's really fine and granular. Throw in some vermiculite, now you got a really good seed starting mix. But overall, like I said, 6 out of 10. Not a bad product, not a great product. I think if you find the right person, I think for the person that's trying to reduce the amount of waste and is concerned about the amount of waste in the landfills, that might be the right product for you. But for the average gardener, not necessarily the best. There's just much more simpler ways to compost. So that's my honest review of the Carfo EcoSmart Composter. Gardening don't gotta be complicated or expensive. Just get out and grow some.